Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 Podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sin. Be sure to follow us over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join the discussion over on Discord, link in the description below. And if you're enjoying the videos, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit that bell for notifications. This is part 3 of 3, so be sure to go watch parts 1 and 2 so you can get the whole entire story. And without any further delay, on to part 3. So now Shadow Weaver is still in Bright Moon. I think what she's going to do is just what she's always done, which is look for a way to get power for herself, to come out on top. You're the writer. How could you not know? See, I think what she's going to do? What do you mean you think? You know. What? She's not a real person. You make up everything. Why is she talking like this? But I think that she's kind of, again, stop saying you think. I think she's kind of thinks that she's doing the right thing now, which is interesting and different for her because she did sort of, she is in the way of carrying herself into the Horde. I think she sort of thought she was doing the right thing all along. Her morality is inherently focused around herself and around what she needs to do for her own game. And so there's a lot more coming from her character. But yeah, I think, my God, she says I think a million times, that she is a kind of a prime position now, maybe a change for her sights on who's going to use to get her power now. That's true. She's going to be right there next to Glimmer. Glimmer, I think she won Glimmer's trust. And that whole, like your father, he was a great magician, because Glimmer has magic in her. The only thing we ever seen her do is glitters, sparkle bombs, and teleports. But she can do other magic. It's in her. So maybe Shadow Weaver is going to teach her how to use more type of spells, which would be cool. But will that drain more of her energy? Because she had problems with just teleporting, let alone casting full-on spells. But why wouldn't Casta teach her? Wouldn't her aunt taught her all these things? Whatever. Again, that's for another video. Next question. Two characters who are coming to a crossroads and a turning point are probably entrapped in Hordak. You know how I feel about that pairing? Because that relationship over the course of season 3 was really fascinating in terms of how a 13-year-old girl can fall in love with a 1,000-year-old space Hitler. Now, in terms of how strengthened through discovering more about Hordak's origins and how those two connected. He was the runt of the family. We have to feel bad for the guy who's killed millions. Catra obviously manipulated that back in her favor by telling Hordak that Entrapped had betrayed him. Do you feel that's going to come back around to bite Catra, or is Hordak and Entrapped's relationship damaged for good? As soon as Hordak finds Hordak, that's his waifu. He's head over heels for this little girl, and he is going to kill Catra when he finds out, because that's insane. I don't know how this is going to work out for Catra's favor. This is what I think Catra's going to escape the Horde or do something, because there's nothing. Once he finds out that she got sent to Beast Island and or died or whatever, Catra is going to be toast. I really don't know how that's going to work out. Noelle Stevenson. And again, I know she's really 39 years old. Entrapped is 74 years old. The age keeps climbing every time someone tells me how old she is. I don't care. It's gross. Noelle Stevenson. I will always say that their story is far from over. That's so gross. I think when we find out about Hordak this season, I'm assuming she's talking about season 3, we'll always see him as a sort of a distant, mysterious figure. Well, that's your fault. Noelle's talking about this show like it's a documentary, and it was like shot in real time, and she had no control over anything. You set that up. You made it because in season 1, all Hordak did was sit in a chair and show up on a video screen. You wrote that specifically, so that's your fault, you dummy. And for the first time, we see him open up to Entrapped, and we realize that his insecurities are actually not different from a lot of our other characters. People say, "Oh, you always got to make the bad guy sympathetic." And I think what they did, who did that well, was in the MCU movies. Thanos had his reasons for what he did. He was wrong. He had a twisted view about, I'm really saving people, but everyone stood up against him because it was wrong. You can understand why someone's doing something without feeling bad for them. I do not feel bad for Hordak. I don't care how bad and sad you feel because your other brothers and your clone daddy doesn't treat you so well. You have killed, enslaved, and ravaged a whole planet. How many people are dead? Hundreds of thousands? Maybe millions? Who knows? I don't care. I don't feel bad for you. Where he found out where he's not the top of the food chain on this planet. Even on this planet he's not. He's kind of a bumbling idiot. He is someone who has been considered expendable, and he's struggling with his own feelings for not being worth something. Again, I don't care. I don't care if you feel worthless, because you are worthless. You are a destroyer. You don't need to exist anymore. You're going to only kill and hurt people. So you not being anything is a good thing. So we see our stinger at the very end of the last episode. There's something bigger than Hordak out there. Is something that we're going to get into in the next season. I would hope so. That'd be great if they'd never mention it again. And they just do a bunch of like random adventures and like the whole Space Force thing never comes into play. Which is what the repercussions of what Catra's done. Is she going to be able to pull this off after she told her this lie? After she's done horrible things to entrap her? But yeah, no. The same with Catra. Their story isn't done yet. You didn't answer the question. I don't think she's ever actually answered a single question. No. People are going to find out. I mean, she sent and trapped her on the stupid train, the train to Beast Island, because they have it's like a light rail. It just goes back and forth. People get in, get off. There's going to be reports, right? There's going to be things. He's going to be, something like, hey, Hordak, yeah, we did that last transfer to Beast Island. What are you talking about? Yeah, Catra ordered and trapped her to be sent to Beast Island. What? And then he's going to go and tear Catra's head off. There's no way he doesn't find out. How does Catra play this? I have no clue. That would be a definite hard one to do. On that stinger, obviously, this is the next question. On that stinger, obviously, the version of the story we got about Hordak's origins was all from his perspective. Is there more than a story than we know? And obviously, Horde Prime now knows where Aetheri is and where his little brother is hiding out. And those battle lines are going to blur somewhere with the bigger bad being introduced into the universe. That is an excellent question. I like that question because what if Hordak was failing a lot. We only got his side of the story. Like, if you would only hear Catra's side of the story with her and Adora, you would think Adora was the bad guy. I find it true in life that when you hear two stories, the truth lies somewhere in the middle. So that's an actually excellent question. Let's see how Adora answers. Not Adora. I can't believe I called Noelle Stevenson Adora, which is funny because she is. I brought this up in the other video and people have said it on my Discord. This is where I got it. Adora is what Noelle wants to be. Catra is who she really is. So these are just two versions of herself. The last real big question, excuse me, lost my place. Noelle Stevenson. I can't tell too much just yet. I just will say that for now, the shadow of Horde Prime hanging over us on the show, and so I would just say stay tuned. I think that we will just say that Hordak is wrong in certain ways. What exactly that means, again, is just something that I think our viewers will have to stay tuned and experience for themselves in the show. On the same Noelle Stevenson time, the same Noelle Stevenson channel. It's a dodge, but I guess she kind of has to say that. But I like that little tidbit about he's wrong. Well, Hordak is completely wrong. He's the bad guy. He's Space Hitler. He's wrong. There's no right in this guy. He's just wrong. The last real big question that I have for you is, I was really fascinated with the idea of Huntara. Of course you were. She was just a wonderful character that just walked her to the ship. It could have been anybody, but she was so fascinating. Having a similar, but not an exact story that kind of mirrored Adora's in terms of defecting and finding her own way. You mean exactly like her story? In the world with, especially with Catra and Adora being on the outs, is that a character that might see as one that Adora might be able to connect with in a way that she couldn't maybe with Glimmer or Bow or the other princes because their upbringings were so different. Is there a potential for friendship between those two that might be apart from some of the others that we've seen in the show so far? Again, this is a good question. I'm hoping she's not alluding to them being together because when Huntara was first announced, everyone, there was that stupid clip where like Adora was all fluttery-eyed about her. When you respect someone, you don't do that. That's someone you want to a little of that action. It's gross because Huntara's like, I don't know, a 40-year-old woman and Adora's 16, but that's what the show's all about. But again, like I say, when you have a celebrity voice actor, unless they're going to swap out voices, which would be funny. Noelle's answer. Noelle Stevenson, definitely. I do think, stop saying you think. You know for a fact. You write the damn show. I do think that Adora sees Huntara as inspirational in a lot of ways and sort of, I think Adora is caught between the Horde and the Rebellion and a sort of doesn't feel like she fits in either one fully. Huh? After 3 seasons, Adora isn't fully on board with the Rebellion? You're the creator, so I guess it's true, but huh? That is so stupid. What a dumb thing to say. And this next... her justification right here is because of cheap animation. I mean, the fact that she's still wearing her red jacket from the Horde all these seasons later, that's rich, Noelle. It hasn't changed. It's like she still quite doesn't feel comfortable in Bright Moon. No, it's called because you're effing cheap and you don't want to design a new costume. You're freaking cheap. Oh my goodness. That is the dumbest reason. Oh God. I can't. I want to write a story and come up with such ridiculous reasons like this. But this is all she's ever known, what was taught in the Horde, and it's such a big part of who she is, and she's never had to think about who she was in the Horde because she was told who she was. And now finding Huntara, who's someone who does have a good heart and also made the choice to separate from the Horde, I think Adora sees a version, like a comfortable future for herself, where it's like, I have to be Huntara. Like, this is how I could make an identity for myself outside of the Horde without necessarily needing to fit in with the aesthetics of Bright Moon. This is a weird concept. This, again, show, don't tell. All creators out there, you're making a webcomic, your own series, your show, don't tell. Don't show us something and then later on in an interview, you're like, oh yeah, she has all these feelings. Show us these feelings, you idiot. But she doesn't fit in? What are you talking about? She loves her friends. She has a great time. Huh? I guess she secretly doesn't like people in Bright Moon? That's so weird. So I think that's why Adora really imprints on Huntara right away. Imprints? What are you? She's not an animal. You're a human effing being. You don't... God, it's so stupid. Ugh. It's because she hasn't had a role model like this before. So here's the thing. People talking about like, with Princess Queen Angela, her sacrifice. It was like her second mom. And she looked up to her. Well, right here, she says she had no role model. So all those people that were barking at me over on Twitter and on YouTube about how great and wonderful her sacrifice was, the queen, and because she meant so much to Adora and everything, apparently she meant nothing because she wasn't a role model. So go after yourselves. From Noelle herself, go complain to her. So yeah, I mean, we're definitely haven't seen the last of Huntara. I bet you we have. But I think that the ball is kind of in Adora's court when it comes to figuring out her identity of who she is and what she wants. Duh. So, of course, that's true for everyone. No one defines you but you. Your actions and your deeds define you. And it doesn't matter what other people think. You know who you are in your heart. What the hell are you talking about? This is just more of Noelle's personal problems where she thinks everyone defined me. Just like how Catra blames Adora for, you made me bad. You made you bad, you freaking idiot. And I think that's something that we're going to have to get into in future seasons. I love these imaginary future seasons. It's just continuing to ask those questions about how is Adora going to express her own identity and her own personality. That doesn't matter. I'm sorry, but you are in a war to save a planet. You have a power that no one else has. You have the power to save everyone. I don't give two flying Fs if you don't feel like, I'm not going to be able to express my personality. Win the war, you have a lifetime to figure this out. You're only like 15. Get over it. Ugh. So that's the end of this ridiculous article interview of sorts. But Hypable, don't go there. It sucks. Noelle talks about shows that don't exist. Imaginary seasons. Talks about deep-seated resentments and hatred. And Adora not feeling comfortable in Bright Moon. Never brought up in the show. So, like I said, I think Noelle has an idea of what the show is in her head, and she never actually watched the final product. So she doesn't know what really happened. But yeah, ridiculous. Stay tuned. We're going to do what we want to see in season 4. I know I kind of touched on a lot of those aspects in this video just because these things are just bouncing around in my head and I have to get them out somehow. But we will do a whole series on that. But stay tuned for that video. Should be coming out maybe in a week or so, maybe longer. Who knows? It's all the minutia of getting the videos put together. But thanks for watching, guys. Hit me up over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join the Discord server. All kinds of people share fan arts and all kinds of cool stuff there, story ideas. And lastly, there's even an email on the About page. Doesn't get used a lot, but if you have ideas there, you want to contact me there, it's open to everyone. So thanks for watching, guys. Catch you on the next one. Crimson Sane here. Thanks for watching the video. If you're enjoying the content, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single upload. If you have any tips or story ideas, hit us up on Twitter at C15 Podcast, or better yet, join our Discord server, link in the description below.